Okay, so this week's scenario is this. This is my first week working at an organization that supports families whose children are at risk for developmental delays. And this is based off of social and medical history. So I talked to the child development specialist that I'm shadowing about the steps involved in identifying a child as delayed and eligible for services. He responded, there are some forms we need to fill out, but mainly I go by my gut instinct, and I'm usually right. Okay, I thought to myself, aren't you trained in this? Isn't there some sort of protocol you need to follow to support your feeling, some kind of documentation, other than those papers you need to fill out? What else do we need to do? So during my time in higher education, I've learned that screening for early intervention is really important. The screening tests are brief and global. They're also reliable and have concurrent validity. Some screenings are for social emotional development that uncover unknown conditions that can be caught early. So the screening conflicts with a gut feeling because usually right isn't reliable or valid and isn't really recordable. So I asked him, what about screening tests? Isn't there some kind of documentation or test results that we need to provide before we refer out for further services? And the specialist didn't really give me a valid answer. So I went in and I talked to the director and asked my questions about what I'm supposed to do in this job for finding developmental delays in children. So for the next case that comes along, I plan on bringing in the necessary materials as well as any kind of screening tests that I would need to do with or without the specialist's help. Hopefully he would help me, but we'll see. I learned this information in 440 assessment. There was a lot of broad assessment knowledge in this course, but I particularly remembered the screening test because I thought it applied more to what I'm doing with younger children, and I thought that it was good to not necessarily be great at screening tests because I've never really done one, but to be aware that that is something that can be needed for children. Call in someone or talk to the director and say, hey, is there some sort of specialist we can call or get in here to help assess these children? So in real life, I haven't had a situation like this, but if something did happen, I would probably say something really similar. I would definitely question why we aren't doing something a little more professional, and I would also have some literature to back myself up, so I sound a little more credible. Thanks.